At this point, we are ready for some real work. We will learn 5 most frequently used Linux commands: cp, mv, mkdir, rm, and ln. These commands are used for manipulating both files and directories. Hey guys, it's Q, and welcome to our journey to master Linux command line. Hope you're liking the series so far. Let's get started. To be frank, some of the tasks done by these commands are more easily done with a graphical file manager. It also has drag and drop support. So why use these old command line programs? The answer is power and flexibility. While it's easy to perform simple file manipulations with a graphical file manager, complicated tasks are done easily with command line. For example, how could we copy all the HTML files from one directory to another, but copy only files that are newer than the versions in the destination directory? It's pretty hard with a file manager, but pretty easy with the command line. We can use cp-u command to do that. Before starting to use our commands, we need to talk about a shell feature that makes these commands powerful. Because the shell uses file names so much, it provides special characters to help you rapidly specify groups of file names. Those special characters are called wildcards. Using wildcards allows you to select file names based on pattern of characters. Pause the video and keep a note of this table. These are the basics of wildcard characters. These are the commonly used character classes. And here are some of the examples of the wildcard patterns in usage. As you can see here, we can produce a large number of combinations using wildcards. Now, the question is, how and where we can use it? Just take a note of these examples for now. We'll see it in action in a bit. The mkdir command is used to create directories. It is used like this: mkdir space directory name. You can also create multiple directories by specifying directory names separated by a space like this. You can also use the absolute path to specify the directory like this. The cp command copies files and directories. It can be used in 2 different ways. This command will create a copy of file1.txt and save it as file2.txt. And this command will copy file1.txt and file2.txt to a directory called files. You can use multiple options with cp command as shown here. If you do not know what options are, you can see the previous video in this tutorial playlist. Now, let's use our knowledge to practice some examples. We use cp space file1.txt space file2.txt command to create a copy of file1.txt. If file2 exists, it will overwrite file2 with file1's contents. Let's add I option to it. If file2 exists, this command will show prompt to the user before it is overwritten. Let's copy file1 and file2 to a directory called dir1. The dir1 directory must already exist. We will copy all files from dir1 to dir2 using this command. The directory dir2 must already exist. We will copy everything from directory dir1 to dir3. But if the directory dir3 doesn't exist, it will be automatically created. mv command is used for both moving and renaming files. The syntax of mv command is similar to cp command. To rename file1.txt to file2.txt, we use this command. To move file1.txt to the directory dir1, we use this command. You can specify absolute path or relative path of the destination file. mv command shares many of the same options as cp command. Let's have a look at it. Let's see some more examples of mv command. If we specify the option I, we will get a prompt if the destination file already exists. Without the I option, we will not be prompted. If the directory dir2 exists, the contents of dir1 will be moved to the directory dir2. But if dir2 doesn't exist, the directory dir2 will get created, and the contents of dir1 will be moved to dir2, and dir1 will be deleted. Or we can simply say, dir1 will be renamed to dir2. If you're new to these commands and it doesn't make much sense to you, I would suggest you to practice these commands again and again to understand the operations of these commands. Now, a word of caution. It is very important to understand that Unix-like operating systems, such as Linux, doesn't have undelete option. Once you delete something with rm command, it's gone. Linux assumes that you are smart and you know what you're doing. Be particularly careful with wildcards. Consider this classic example. Let's say you want to delete just the HTML files in a directory. To do this, you type this command, rm***.html. This is correct, but if you accidentally put a space between the asterisk and the .html, like this, the rm command will delete all the files in that directory and then complain that there is no file called .html. Here is a tip for you. Whenever you use wildcards with rm, test the wildcard with ls command first. This will let you see the files that will be deleted. Then press the up arrow to recall the command and replace ls with rm. Let's see some examples of rm command. This command will delete file1.txt. This command will do the same thing, but it will prompt the user before the deletion is performed. This command will delete file1 and dir1 and all its contents recursively. This is a very dangerous command. It will forcefully delete the files and directories silently. Be very careful with rm-rf command. The ln command is used to create either hard link or symbolic links. It is used in one or two ways. We can create hard links like this. ln space file1.txt space file2.txt. File2.txt is hard linked to file1.txt. To create a symbolic link, use the -s option with ln command like this. File3.txt is a symbolic link to file1.txt. Let's see what are hard links and soft links. Hard links are the original Unix way of creating links, compared to symbolic links, which are more modern. Hard links has some limitations. It cannot reference a file outside of its own file system. That means, a link cannot reference a file that is not on the same disk partition. Also, hard links can only reference to a file. It cannot create reference of a directory. Modern practice prefers symbolic links. Symbolic links were created to overcome the limitations of hard links. Symbolic links contain a text pointer to the reference file or directory. In this regard, they operate in much the same way as a Windows shortcut. Although shortcuts were introduced on Windows 95 in 1995, and symbolic links were introduced in Unix in 1983, over a decade ago. Anyway, here are some more details on symbolic links and hard links. You can note it down if you want. We have covered a lot of ground here in this video, and it will take a while for it all to fully sink in. I will post a link in the description for you. That is our practice sheet. All the answers will be given at the bottom of the sheet. But you need to try to solve the questions before you see the answers and match with yours. Keep practicing over and over until you are confident, and only then move on to the next video. That's it for today. We have learned the basic Unix commands. From the next video, we are moving towards intermediate stuffs. Please share this playlist with your friends and include them all in our journey to master Linux command line. See you on the next one.